So you remember how I said that I was going to be putting a whole bunch of money into my car? We're talking things like Speed Daddy headers, catless downpipe, new mufflers, new intake, pulley drop, etc., etc. I talked about a lot of things in my last video, things that I was planning on doing. Well, it's amazing how in such a short period of time things can actually change. And this is what I mean by plans change. That's right. This is a Grand Prix GXP. Just picked her up last weekend, and I can't tell you how thrilled I am. Some of you out there would be saying things like, you know, that was a bad trade. You put a little bit of money into your Comp G and you can really make it wake up, make it even faster than these GXPs. You're right. There are certain things that you cannot do with the GXP that you can easily do with the GTP. But there were a lot of things about my Comp G that I was disappointed with, and I could have gone to all of the performance upgrades, but I would still be missing on some things that would just bother me. And it was something that I had just decided that I was gonna finally get exactly what I wanted, and that is this particular car, the GXP. I fell in love with the GXP when I first saw it at the Detroit Auto Show back in late 2004, and I knew that I had to have one. I got my Comp G in 2008, and it was a great car. There's no doubt about it. It was an off-lease vehicle, and it was pretty much what I could afford at the time that I bought it, which is why I got the Comp G instead of the GXP. At the time, the GXP, the 05s were still going for around 16, 17 for a higher mileage GXP, and so it was something that was out of my price range. It just was out of my price range, so I figured that it would be a good compromise to get the Comp G because it had most of everything that I wanted, and I would enjoy that car, which I did, very much so. But there were things that I really wanted that I could not get with my Comp G. Number one was the exterior styling. This front end with the fogs and the runnings, it looks so much better than the stock non-GXP front end. And to each their own. Not everybody likes this front end, but I love it. It's definitely much more aggressive. Other things, the wheels. Obviously these are aftermarket wheels, which I'm fine with, but I preferred the 18-inch Alcoa wheels over the T-Stars that came on my Comp G. I wanted to black out the T-Stars, but it was going to be a lot of work, and I just decided I wasn't going to do that. So this was a good compromise, actually. These aftermarket wheels were blacked out for the most part, and they just look great. Now, I already made a post on the Grand Prix forums about my car, and some like them, some hate them. Down the road, I may decide that I'm going to change this, but for now, this is the way it is. Also, and I realized that the brakes, the calipers can be upgraded, but the Comp G red painted calipers are nothing more than standard calipers that were painted red. And the GXP obviously offers the upgraded calipers. And that's the first thing I noticed, was just how much more grab these brakes have than my Comp G. Another thing that I was missing out on, and it's mainly because my wife has this tendency to either be too hot or too cold when I'm just right, is the dual zone climate control, which I had looked at different ways to modify the dash to install something like this, but it was going to be a lot more work than it was worth. Basically, I had to replace the whole dash and rewire it, so I decided, no, I'm not going to do it. But that was one thing that I really wanted, and it seems trivial, but when you take a 1,200 mile trip to Florida twice a year, and you have a passenger who's constantly complaining about what the temperature is, this is actually nice to have. Believe me, it is. I also tried to acquire some of these chrome accents that are on, obviously, all the vents and the door handles, and then the chrome door handle itself, and the GXP rocker cover. And it was going to seem artificial if I went to all the trouble to do all that stuff, so I just decided that I wasn't going to do it. I also love these suede seats. But anyway, so there were a lot of things about my Comp G sacrificial that I would have to make, you know, in order to keep it. And by the way, these are brand new tires. They have about 200 miles on them. General G Max tires are actually pretty good. We had a little bit of snow here yesterday, and they did a pretty good job, and they have pretty decent grip. But these tail lamps are aftermarket LED tail lamps. They're really bright. They really are. They're very bright. And yeah, the car is a little bit dirty right now. There's an LS4 badge. It actually says LS4 Grand Prix. I know it's hard to see that with the light and the dirt that's on there right now. But yeah, so like I said, there was going to be a lot of compromise. There was a lot of things that I wasn't happy about. As I said with the styling, I just absolutely love the styling. These vents, I don't know, I just overall, I liked the GXP much more than the Comp G. So I just made a decision that I was going to get what I wanted. I was looking for about 6 months. I actually had an Auto Trader alert set up. They would email me if a black on black 08 GXP with under 100,000 miles came into my price range of $12,000 or less. And honestly, I got very few returns. Maybe once a month something would come up. I think I only got about a half dozen returns. And there was a dealer about 2 hours from me who was selling this. It has 111,000 miles on it, which was just out of my, wanting for. It was about the same miles as my Comp G, but it was an 08 and it had everything that I wanted. And I was in contact with the guy for about 2 weeks, telling him how interested I was, but I didn't want to make a purchase unless it was the right price, etc., etc. And my trade-in was going to be worth what I wanted it, etc., etc. Anyway, we ended up working it out, and I ended up getting this car for a very reasonable price. And I was very specific as far as the Carfax. I wanted to make sure that it had been in no accidents. I ended up getting a 3-year warranty on it. It's an extended warranty that basically covers everything. We're talking about the motor, the drivetrain, wheel bearings, anything electrical that goes wrong. I paid extra for that, simply because I didn't want to get it home and find out there was going to be a bunch of problems with it. Basically, I take it to any dealer if there's a problem, and they will fix it. And it's as easy as that. Check engine light comes on. Rather than diagnose it myself for the first 3 years, take it to them. They repair it for free. So, I mean, there was a lot of thought that went into getting this. And I have to mention that, it still has the stock exhaust on it, but when I really get on it, it sounds great. And that's what I really enjoy about these V8s. So, gotta love the sound. But anyway, I made the decision, and this is what I have. It is a 2008 Grand Prix GXP, 111,000 miles on it, and it rides so great. It really is a great car. There's just no doubt about it. I love it. I'm still, getting used to it. I got onto it when I was on the highway and didn't realize just how much torque steer it has over my Comp G, so that's something to get used to. Just gonna have to get used to some things. And I'm absolutely happy with it. I'm happy with my decision. It is everything that I've ever wanted in a Grand Prix, absolutely everything. And yeah, so I'm definitely gonna get some more videos going of this. I'm actually gonna go through my whole. I've got a little over 100 videos on YouTube of my Comp G. I'm gonna keep those there. I'm not gonna get rid of them. I'm not suddenly gonna abandon the Comp G subscribers. I know that there are some of you out there who specifically subscribed because I had a Comp G, and I'm not gonna get rid of any of those videos, but I'm definitely going to be making lots of videos of this car. So I mean, stay tuned. If you're there just for the Comp G, obviously I know it's disappointing that I'm not going to have that anymore, but this is exactly what I want in a car, and made. So hopefully everybody else out there is pretty happy with the decision that I made. And I'm just I don't know, I can't explain it. I'm just really happy right now. So anyway, if you guys have any questions, please feel free. I would love to answer any of your questions, and I am for sure going to get videos up. I'm definitely going to do a comparison between my old and new based on the feel and everything else. My 04 Comp G versus the 08 GXP, the pros and the cons, etc., etc. Got a lot of videos that I'm going to be doing for sure. It's winter, it's cold. Here it is Black Friday, and I ventured out on Black Friday, but I'll do as much as I possibly can. I really will. So that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys are pretty happy for me, because I'm definitely happy. Definitely. So take care, guys.